Our protagonist was just a bottom-tier patrol soldier. But with just a light tap on the power testing machine, he completely shocked the special forces on the spot. He didn't just break the record, he literally shattered the entire machine with a single hit. When he tried out his most basic skill, he ended up blowing away 3 skyscrapers. With that kind of power, even an Overlord-class magical beast would be shaking in fear. Even the daughter of the army's chief of staff tried to recruit him, presenting an offer he simply couldn't refuse. And that offer was intelligence on his little sister. Because in this chaotic world, only the military has the best intelligence-gathering capabilities. It all started because humanity dug too deep into archaeology, accidentally breaking the seal on a mysterious ancient ruin. This plunged the world into an unprecedented disaster. Along with the red mist that covered the cities, once people were enveloped by it, their bodies would be consumed by a mutating power. Other creatures also mutated because of it, turning into blood-red monsters. They used the mist to destroy cities. And the tragic scene from 3 days ago was still burned into our protagonist's mind. 3 days ago, the military broadcasted messages urging everyone not to panic and to stay indoors. At that moment, our protagonist's family was in their car, when suddenly, screams echoed from outside, demanding they pull over immediately. His dad sarcastically muttered that the government sure knew how to spin things, calling it a natural disaster when they had already deployed the military. Just then, his little sister leaned closer to him. "Brother, I'm scared. Don't worry, I'm right here." But the commotion was just too loud. What on earth was that red mist anyway? A massive explosion erupted, sending a car flying into the air. By some horrible stroke of luck, that car was flying straight toward his family's vehicle. He quickly shielded his sister's head. With a loud crash, the 2 cars slammed together like a squished Oreo. "Mom, Dad, are you guys okay?" His father replied that his leg was trapped. To make matters worse, a beastly roar suddenly echoed through the air. The entire family turned toward the sound. What was that? They saw a monstrous beast howling. Soldiers were frantically firing at it while a crowd of people fled behind them. Seeing this, his father yelled, "Hurry, get out of here!" The main character kicked the door open and pulled his sister out of the car. He then tried his best to pry open the front door, but his parents pleaded, "Take your sister and run. Forget about us." But how could he just abandon them? "No, I have to save you guys." His sister screamed in terror, "Help!" Realizing her mistake immediately, she quickly covered her mouth. Crying, his mother begged him to run. They looked at him with trust, seeing him as the man of the family. "You're her big brother. Take good care of Xiao Shu." Just a second later, something slammed violently into the car, sending him and his sister flying. To their horror, it was a black beast that looked like a mutated dog. Even more bizarrely, sharp bones were protruding from its belly. And just like that, his parents were gone. But the monster had already set its sights on him. Gritting his teeth through the pain, he grabbed his sister and ran. But his sister couldn't bear to leave their parents. Huge explosions were going off everywhere, making it feel like the end of the world. Flying monsters filled the sky, even taking down airplanes. Both animals and humans were going completely wild. Not understanding what was happening, our protagonist could only keep dragging his sister along. The streets were filled with the terrifying roars of monsters. He led his sister into a corner. Terrified of being spotted, he put his brain into overdrive to figure out a plan. A supermarket would have plenty of cover and supplies. Maybe they could hold out there until rescue arrived. Watching the beast wander off, he let out a sigh of relief. It's finally gone. But a second later, his sister cried out in pain as red veins began to creep across her face. He noticed that they were appearing on his own face too. "Xiao Shou, what's wrong? Brother, it hurts so much." What was happening? Could it be from inhaling too much of the red mist? He quickly poured water onto a cloth and covered his sister's nose. But in the next second, his own mutation worsened. It was burning hot, as if something was trying to claw its way out of his body. His sister panicked. "Brother, what's happening to you?" "I'm fine. I'm okay." He desperately tried to suppress the mutation, but his struggle caught the attention of a nearby monster. His sister cried out, "Brother, please don't scare me." Seeing the beast closing in and realizing they had been spotted, he had no choice but to grab his sister and run again. But soon, he realized something was terribly wrong. Another beast blocked their path ahead, and yet another one appeared behind them. Terrified, his sister asked him what they should do, but the monsters didn't attack right away. It was like they were waiting for something. "Don't be scared, sis, I've got you." Right then, an even louder roar shook the air. To their shock, it was a massive flying monster. It landed with a violent thud, looking every bit like the leader of this pack. Are we really going to die here today? Without a second thought, he dragged his sister and dashed inside a nearby building. There was only one monster inside, while the outside was far too dangerous. Their only chance was to take down the one in here. Grabbing a pipe, our protagonist charged forward. It might look fierce, but in the end, it was nothing more than a rabid dog. Damn it! But a second later, his hopes were crushed as the stick snapped instantly. The beast let out a deafening roar. He never expected this beast to be so insanely powerful. He could only use one hand and one foot to hold its jaws open. Just a second later, an arrow pierced right through its eye. It was safe to say the beast was now blind on one side. "Are you okay, big brother? I wanted to help, but I couldn't find a gun. This was the only thing left inside the supermarket. I'm fine, you did great." But this beast held a massive grudge. It completely ignored our main character and lunged straight for his little sister. This sent our main character into a total panic. Terrified, his sister turned and bolted. He screamed at her to run and never look back. At that exact moment, his mutation symptoms began to flare up violently. But why did it have to happen now of all times? His sister tripped and fell, and the beast was already closing in. The sheer shock of seeing her in danger triggered something deep inside him. In a desperate surge of strength, he literally crushed the concrete wall with his bare hands. With no time to lose, he hurled the massive chunk of debris straight at the wolf. "Any beast that dares touch my sister is going to die." With a roar of fury, he drove the iron rod straight into the werewolf's skull. Seeing him completely lose his mind, his sister rushed over and threw her arms around him. "Big brother, what's happening? Please stop. Don't do this. I'm okay. I beg you, please stop." His terrifying, monstrous state was scaring his own sister. Snapping back to his senses at his sister's desperate cries, he calmed down. "Xiaoshu, I'm okay. I'm so sorry for scaring you. Are you really okay?" "I'm fine." But before the words could fully leave his mouth, another monster loomed right behind her. He shoved his sister aside immediately. "Watch out!" Out of nowhere, a terrifying mutated bird beast attacked. He grabbed the nearby iron rod and swung it with all his might. "Get the hell away from my sister, you overgrown pest." To his absolute shock, the massive bird was sent flying effortlessly. "Wait, where did this insane strength come from? I can actually take them down." He had no idea what was happening to him, but there was no denying he had become incredibly strong. He quickly told his sister to find a safe place to hide while he went to take care of the remaining beasts. Xiaoshu was terrified, but she knew there was no other choice. The monsters were locked onto him, and he had to lure them away from her. "Don't go, big brother. I'm so scared." He gently patted her head. "Don't worry, I won't lose control this time. Just wait for me here. It'll be over in a flash, and then I'll come right back to get you, okay?" His sister, always mature for her age, nodded. But first, she made him promise. "Promise me, you have to come back alive." "Of course I will. Just trust your big brother." With that, he charged outside. If his theory was correct, hunting these beasts and absorbing their red energy was the key to unlocking more power. You've got a ton of energy packed inside you, don't you? If I put you down, I'll gain even more power. So prepare to die. But he never expected this beast to call in massive backup. "Haha, I guess I'm not worth your personal attention yet. Fine then, I'll tear through your little minions first." He brought his rod cracking down on one beast's skull, but a split second later, another one sank its teeth deep into his shoulder. Roaring in pure rage, his aura surged violently, instantly blasting the two beasts away. Suddenly, his hands began to mutate, transforming into terrifying claws wrapped in a dark red aura. So this is what raw power feels like. Amazing. Now, the real hunt begins. But right then, a military aircraft roared overhead and dropped a massive bomb. The alpha beast howled in response. A massive explosion shook the ground, filling the air with thick smoke. But the strike missed completely, leaving the pack of beasts entirely unscathed. Our main character survived without a scratch too. With a wild war cry, he shredded the remaining beasts with his new claws. He was left looking pretty battered, but the moment his mind cleared, he rushed back to find his sister, Xiaoshui. But when he got there, the hiding spot was empty. Only her stuffed doll remained on the ground. As his mutation faded away, a cold dread washed over him. His sister was gone. "Xiaoshu, I'm so sorry. I was too late. Where are you? Mom, Dad, I failed you both." He recalled the moment of the airstrike, remembering seeing hands that were clearly not human. "Why did my hands turn into this? What the hell is happening to me? Just then, the falling bomb drew closer and closer. He screamed at his sister to stay back because it was too dangerous. After the massive blast, he faintly heard radio chatter coming from a helicopter. "We've got survivors down there. Check it out." "Forget him. He's already infected. Leave him." They grabbed his sister instead. "Hurry up. Those monsters will be back any second." He could only watch helplessly as the helicopter flew away. But in a way, it was a relief at least Xiaoshu was safe from the monsters. "Big brother, why didn't you save me?" In his vision, Xiao Sui was suddenly engulfed and consumed by raging flames. But just as he reached out to grab her, she vanished into thin air. He bolted upright, gasping for breath. It was just a nightmare. Damn it. That same dream again. "Xiaoshu, it's been half a year. Where on earth are you?" Fortunately, his secret remained safe. Ever since they took her, he had searched every nearby refugee camp, but came up empty-handed. In a desperate bid to find her, he joined the military as a low-level patrol officer. After all, in this chaotic world, only the military had the power to gather intelligence. This is the border outpost of Redstone City. "Sorry, Captain, I'm late." The captain immediately kicks him in the butt. "You idiot, where did you sneak off to slack off? I told you to take over the shift. Do you have any idea how late you are? Just another useless rookie." "My bad, Captain." Our main character quickly climbs up the watchtower as the captain yells from below. "Those VIPs are arriving soon, and then we'll finally get paid." The main character replies, "Okay." 6 months ago, the Crimson Mist erupted. Most cities were reduced to ruins, turning into territory for monsters. But along with the Crimson Mist, a mysterious red tower also appeared. To survive, humanity has no choice but to stay far away from the tower's boundary and the mist. "Is that guy still up there? We have the special response unit outside anyway. All we need to do is blow the border whistle when needed. We can just take it easy." If even they can't hold the line, what could a patrol squad like us possibly do? The other two say, "That's the famous special response unit. There's no way they'd fail." "Are you kidding, Captain? They've wiped out countless monsters on their way here." Sitting silently on the watchtower, the main character realizes that even after all this time, he still absolutely hates the smell of this bloody mist. This mist can awaken a creature's bloodlust, driving them to slaughter one another. Suddenly, he notices the mist has cleared. No, wait. Something is rushing straight toward them. "Captain, something's happening. Look, what could it be? Probably just some minor beast. Wait, why is the mist rolling in all of a sudden?" "Captain, that's the special response unit. 2 people are seen running out of the Crimson Mist." "Commander, what on earth happened?" "Go back. Get back." Just a second later, blood-curdling screams rip through the air. The captain screams into his walkie-talkie. "Everyone, scatter." But in the blink of an eye, a monster hooks its claws into the captain's uniform and lifts him right off the ground. Thinking he's a goner, the captain can practically see his ancestors waving him over. Looking down from above, the main character sees the Crimson Mist completely taking over, with nothing but agonizing screams echoing through the fog. "Run, run, they're here." The main character leaps straight down, crushing a monster right beneath his feet. Another monster nearby roars at him. But at this point, he's far from the person he was 6 months ago. Free experience points practically begging to be taken. I'll gladly accept. In no time, he dispatches the second one. Next up, absorption. Perfect. Absorbing this one makes me feel a bit stronger. I wonder how much stronger I'll get if I absorb a few more. He looks at the 6 monsters surrounding him. But instead of being afraid, he's actually excited. "Don't disappoint me, you bastards." But a split second later, a loud bang echoes as a monster is sent flying right past him. A woman holding a weapon suddenly appears, stealing his kill. She's Songyi, the captain of the Crimson Blood Outpost squad. The main character panics. She's with the Special Response Unit. He needs to act normal immediately, and pray she didn't see anything. Not a single beast is left standing. They're all wiped out. Right after, 2 gun barrels are pointed straight at him. He immediately puts his hands up, but they fire anyway. Fortunately, he's unharmed. Turns out, he was overthinking. They were actually shooting the monster behind him. Once the target is confirmed dead, Songyi turns her gaze toward him. "Where's your weapon, patrolman?" The main character thinks he's screwed. Still, there's no denying she's gorgeous. All outpost forces are to retreat to the defense line. No one enters without Commander Songyi's permission. Songyi looks at the data displayed on the screen. So far, there are 37 casualties at the outpost. This includes 2 members of the Crimson Blood Special Response Unit 30 patrol guards, and the rest are support staff. So, why are you detaining me? I'm a victim here too. At 5:23 p.m., you left your squad without permission for 2 hours, and right after you got back, the crimson mist erupted. Don't you think that warrants an explanation? She's way too sharp. He needs to find a way to BS his way out of this. I was just taking a nap in the ruins, that's all. I even gave our captain a heads up beforehand. Just then, a teammate chimes in. Commander, this kid is late for duty every single time, and the captain always lets him off the hook. What the hell? What kind of crap are you spewing? I'll kick your butt right now. Don't you dare drag the captain into this. Seeing this, Song-yi thinks to herself, it seems this patrol squad has more than a few issues of their own. Meanwhile, the captain, who's currently getting treated, suddenly sneezes. Are you all right, Captain? The medic sighs. Don't worry, he's not gonna die. All his vitals are completely normal. Doctor, is this really considered normal? Meanwhile, Song-yi looks into the main character's file. Your file says you only completed basic training 3 months ago. In that battle just now, even 2 of our elite special response members died. Yet you survived. To be honest, I'm terrified of dying. I used to do track in school, so I'm a lot faster and more agile than the average person. The moment I saw the crimson mist, I ran for my life. If you're so afraid of dying, why did you choose this job in the first place? Joining the military. Could he really have some other motive? A motive? Of course he did. Having searched for his little sister for the past 6 months, he'd been tirelessly hunting and absorbing low-level beasts. Slowly, he learned to control his beastification and transform back into a human. He searched every single shelter, but his sister was nowhere to be found. As a soldier, you're a coward who clings to life. You abandoned your post and withheld vital information. Do you have any idea what the consequences are? Are you going to execute me? Then, Song-yi whispered softly into Yan Hao's ear. What is going on with your hands? He couldn't believe it, she had actually seen them. You're lying. What on earth are you trying to hide? What is your actual goal here? Right at that moment, a massive explosion echoed from outside. Song-yi thought it was an earthquake, but Yan Hao knew something was off. That familiar sensation. Without a second thought, he bolted outside. Run, now. A massive horde of beasts is heading this way. Song-yi stood there frozen, completely stunned that he would just run away right in front of her. But a split second later, she slammed Yan Hao's head down onto the floor. Am I invisible to you? Commander, the floor is cracking. Please, take it easy on me. Suddenly, the floor completely shattered. Help! Somebody help! Except for Song-yi, everyone else fell backward. Where are we? It's pitch black down here. Get the lights ready. Yeah, you're a total jinx. Wherever you go, trouble follows. Let's survive first, then you can complain. Ugh, we're trapped. Once they turned on the lights, they realized they were in a labyrinth carved out by the beasts. Everyone, stay calm. Check your functional weapons and maintain formation. Suddenly, Yan Hao heard the sound of rushing air. What is it? Is there a breeze coming from over there? A breeze? Then there must be a way out. I'll go check it out. Sure enough, there was a draft. Yan Hao, you might be useless at everything else, but your running away skills are top-notch. Commander, there's a breeze over here. But he didn't realize a monster had already crept up behind him. With a loud bang, a bullet tore through the air and struck the beast. The patrolling soldier collapsed to the ground in terror. These insect monsters are highly corrosive. Don't let them get close. And don't move without my orders. Song-yi glanced at Yan Hao. Seems like you're an expert at escaping danger. Yan Hao, once this is over, you'd better have a very good explanation for me. Yet, Yan Hao still couldn't figure it out. If she already knew his secret, why hadn't she just exposed him? What was her angle? Then, a rustling sound echoed all around them. It seemed like something was approaching, and it was more of those same insect beasts. Crap, why are there so many bugs? We're in deep trouble now. These insect beasts were dripping with bloodlust, looking as if they were starving for a meal. Song-yi and her team immediately opened fire, running for their lives while constantly checking behind them. Suddenly, Yan Hao stopped. Song-yi yelled at him to keep moving, but he pointed out that the insect beasts seemed to be halting. Look ahead. Standing right in front of them was a colossal mutant insect. This was an Overlord-class beast. What's worse, it was actively absorbing the red mist, and a second later, it began charging up energy. Yan Hao warned everyone to watch out, this thing was extremely dangerous. Song-yi fired a shot, just as the mutant insect unleashed its power. With a loud metallic clang, Song-yi's bullet struck the beast's body. At the exact same time, the blast of energy released by the mutant insect surged right towards Song Yi. Fortunately, Yan Hao intercepted it just in time, deflecting the energy blast with a single strike and instantly absorbing its power. Yan Hao said, "Once we make it out of here alive, I'll explain everything." But he also noticed that the area Song Yi had shot was starting to crack. Song Yi was getting anxious. "Even my attacks aren't doing anything to it. Did Yan Hao really have a plan? Be careful." But our main character was completely confident he had already slaughtered hundreds, if not thousands, of beasts just like this one. An overlord? In this world, monster ranks went from lowest to highest. Scout, Hound, Overlord, Behemoth, and Calamity. With that, Yan Hao leaped forward. "Go to hell." With a swipe of his razor-sharp claws, he tore right through its massive body. "If I absorb your energy, I'll get a whole lot stronger, won't I?" As he landed, he wasn't entirely satisfied with his attack. "Man, that's tough. If this were an ordinary beast, it would have been shredded to pieces by now. With a massive body like an armored vehicle, you must have devoured quite a few of your own kind, haven't you?" The mutant insect wouldn't go down easily. It immediately retaliated, but Yan Hao easily dodged the blow. He even mocked it. Too slow. Yan Hao figured it had dumped all of its evolution points into defense. Yan Hao's squadmates stood there in utter disbelief. They felt like they were dreaming the guy they thought was a total pushover turned out to be a hidden powerhouse. What is up with him? No way. Wasn't he just faster at running away than everyone else? And the biggest coward of us all? Just then, Song Yi's voice rang out. "He's a test subject for the anti-beast combat research, a classified project under the United Government. A guy who barely passed basic training in 3 months, who runs faster than anyone else, is actually an anti-beast research subject? What is the meaning of this?" "So, you knew about this all along, Commander?" "No, I only confirmed it when he blocked that attack for me just now." Hearing this, Deputy Captain Lam Shi-dung immediately fell deep into thought. Is there really a research subject like that? Or is Captain Song Yi hiding something? He escaped from the lab, and to think he actually managed to sneak into the patrol squad. So, was the previous fog outbreak related to Yan Hao? We can't rule out that possibility, which is why I have to investigate him. This is the government's biggest secret. Everything you see and hear here is classified. Don't say a single word about it, understand? The patrolman replied, "Yes, sir." Right then, the monster bug gathered another energy sphere and fired it straight at our protagonist. He easily dodged it, but then he realized something was wrong. The energy sphere was heading straight for Song Yi and the other two. "Get out of the way!" The energy sphere hit the ground, causing a massive explosion. As the smoke cleared, Song Yi was completely unharmed. She sat on the ground looking incredibly cool. Meanwhile, the protagonist's colleague was panting heavily, unable to believe he was still alive. It turned out Lam Chi-dung had shielded him. "Commander, your leg. Don't worry, I won't die from this. You really are a true special response team member, risking yourself for a mere patrolman like me." But Lam Chi-dung replied, "Trading a leg for a life is definitely worth it. But isn't your mission to fight the beasts? You lost your precious combat ability just for me. I didn't join the military just to kill those monsters. I did it to protect and survive. As humans, we can never leave anyone behind." At the same time, the protagonist was blown back. The arm armor on his hand began to fade away. Damn it, the fog's power has worn off. He couldn't even maintain his single-arm beastification anymore. Yet, this Overlord class monster bug was still going strong. So this is an Overlord class? This is a bit too much. The dark bug charged forward with a ferocious look on its face, but suddenly, a spark shot out, striking it right in the head. Yan Hao watched in confusion for a moment before recognizing who it was. Thinking to himself, Song Yi. Song Yi called out, "Yan Hao, you can't die here. There are still so many things you need to explain." Her attack didn't seem to do much against its sheer brutality. Surprised, Song Yi thought to herself, "Is it laughing? Could it be? The red fog has indeed spilled out of the caves. These interconnected caves allow it to easily move the red fog around, drawing on it to restore its own power. Its wounds are already starting to heal. At this rate, it'll soon recover to its peak state. It looks like the sudden red fog outbreak at the outpost earlier was its doing as well." She shouted, "Yan Hao, we can't kill this thing. We need to retreat while we can." But Yan Hao flatly refused. "No way, this thing has to die today. The fact that it's summoning the red fog actually helps me recharge too. Since it can't move around freely right now, this is our best chance to strike." Song Yi turned to warn him, "If we fail, you're dead meat. Determined, he replied. I've lined up at the gates of hell countless times. One more won't make a difference. Hearing this, she relented and replied, all right, we only have one shot at this. I'll unleash all my power to help you break through its head armor. Seize the opportunity and destroy its brain. This is our only shot at defeating it. Song Yi got into her attack stance and shouted the signal. Right then, a brutal strike hit, wounding the dark bug. Yan Hao thought to himself, perfect, its head armor is shattered. He quickly launched an attack directly at its head. With eyes full of rage, Yan Hao roared, go meet your maker. His relentless strikes made the dark bug shriek in agony. Song Yi watched from afar, letting out a sigh of relief. Did we do it? Shrapnel from its body suddenly exploded everywhere, blowing Yan Hao back. Seeing this, Song Yi rushed over, shouting, Yan Hao. Extremely worried, she asked, are you okay? Just then, Song Yi suddenly spotted something. She picked up a piece of paper and asked curiously, is this a photo? The flying shrapnel from earlier had left cuts all over Yan Hao's hands. Perhaps the venom on the dark bug's fragments made him dizzy as he thought to himself in a daze, where am I? Yan Hao's body drifted in a virtual space. He thought, am I dead? And what's this DNA-like thing flashing before me? Yan Hao suddenly realized that a piece of shrapnel had wounded his chest. He thought to himself, wait, isn't this the thing that was inside that Overlord beast earlier? It looked like some kind of energy source. It was in my hand just a moment ago, so how did it move to my chest? Wait, what? It's actually absorbing the red fog. Not only can it absorb the red fog, but it can also store it. Even if I absorb more red fog than before to undergo a stronger beastification, I won't have to worry about losing control anymore. Oh no, this new crystal has a limited storage capacity. Lost in thought, Yan Hao realized, at this rate, I'm going to explode. But then, a thought struck him as he said, that's it. Yan Hao reasoned that the giant bug's move could consume a massive amount of red fog. If he could absorb the fog, he just had to concentrate it all together. A short while later, he was rushed to the hospital. Red energy kept surging out of Yan Hao's body. Annoyed and furious, he roared, get back in! Suddenly, Tong Nu burst in, gasping in shock. Yan Hao, what are you doing? But it was already too late. Blown off his bed, Yan Hao screamed, get out of the way! Just like that, a massive explosion erupted, sending shock waves of red light blasting outward. 5 minutes earlier, inside a towering high-rise under a clear blue sky, a subordinate reported to Captain Tong Chan. With Adjutant Lam standing by, Tong Nui replied, as a soldier, he made peace with this long ago. You don't need to blame yourself. Inside the hospital room, Deng Qi asked, Captain Tong, what's wrong with Yan Hao? I've never heard of SU having test subjects before. She replied, Yan Hao's situation is top secret. Just focus on resting and recovering. You don't need to worry about anything else. I've already requested the minister to transfer you to logistics. From now on, you can get some proper rest. He spoke up. I will definitely report this to your father, Chief of Staff Tong Liam. I believe he will make his own judgment. Tong Nui snapped. Adjutant Lam, who exactly is your superior here? From this moment on, your communication privileges are suspended. Stay right here, and don't go anywhere. A moment later, she asked, which room is Yan Hao in? The subordinate answered, he's in room 304. Tong Nui ordered, come with me to Yan Hao's room. The two of them headed to room 304. Once there, she instructed, guard the door. No one enters without my permission. The subordinate replied, yes, ma'am. The moment Tong Nui pushed the door open, she was met with a massive surge of red mist. Yan Hao was channeling energy into his palm, prompting her to scream, Yan Hao. Furious, Tong Nu demanded, what do you think you're doing? Yan Hao barked, get away from me. Instantly, a massive wave of power blasted outward, knocking her to the ground. The orb of magical energy surged violently, tearing straight through the wall. The force was so immense that it blew right through several buildings in a row. Looking out from his room, Deng Qi thought to himself, the abandoned building was blasted clean through. What happened in Yan Hao? Captain Tong Nui, just how long do you think you can keep this a secret? Lying on the ground and holding his head, the subordinate groaned. Why am I always the unlucky one? Help me. This is terrifying. I don't want to die yet. Tong Nu realized, is this the same move from that insect beast earlier? She couldn't help but wonder, how can he directly control a beast's power without even using beast armament? She turned her head and said, Yan Hao, you owe me a lot of explanations. A short while later, the two of them walked up to the hospital rooftop. With her arms crossed, Tong Nui said, So, you can not only absorb a mutated beast's core, but also copy its abilities? He replied, Not only that, I can also absorb more red bones and store them. Even the crystal itself can regenerate. Hearing this, she smiled with interest. You're full of surprises, aren't you? Yan Hao replied honestly. I did indeed acquire their strength and abilities, but there is also a chance I might slowly turn into one of them. With my body like this, can I even be considered a real human anymore? Captain Tong, in your eyes, what exactly am I? Tong Nui replied, You are you, a unique existence. Whether you're a human or a monster depends entirely on how you choose to use this power. But your power is both a curse and a weapon. Right now, you have two paths before you. The first path is to join Red Blood and become a reserve soldier in my squad. The second path is to be labeled a threat, just like the mutated beasts, and be eliminated. He repeated her words, puzzled. Eliminated? Tong Nui explained. Do you really think the military forces in this city have what it takes to do that to you? Right now, I admittedly can't do anything to you. But you're being far too arrogant if you think you can take on SU on your own. Joining my team won't do you any harm. Identity, information, resources. I will help you take care of all your trouble. Yan Hao mused. A dangerous guy you barely even know, and with power that keeps going out of control. Are you really willing to take in a troublemaker like me? Surely, there's a heavy price to pay, right? Going all out to help me just to recruit a rookie. Don't tell me you have an ulterior motive? She praised him. You're very sharp. For certain reasons, I do need you, but you must believe me when I say we are not enemies. Tong Nu's gaze instantly sharpened. Perhaps you can look at this as a transaction. Surprised, Yan Hao asked. What? In her hand was a photo of him and Tu Tuyet. Stunned, Yan Hao blurted. How did you get that photo? She said seriously. Don't underestimate me. If I want to, digging up your past is child's play. As long as you join Red Blood, I will use our highest level intelligence network to do everything we can to find your sister's whereabouts. He thought to himself, searching blindly on my own definitely has its limits. Just like she said, once I obtain a higher status and position in the military, where I can investigate much deeper, my movements will also be a lot easier. And so, Yan Hao spoke up, it's a deal. But, my dear captain, if you need me that badly, you'll have to bump up my salary a bit. A small raise shouldn't be a problem, right? After all, my previous savings were completely spent on looking for my sister. Song Rui says coldly, Corporal Yan Hao, as the captain of Crimson Blood. I approve your enlistment as a Crimson Blood reserve soldier, with the highest standard pay. Now, get the hell out of here and complete your paperwork. He salutes and replies, Yes, Captain Song, I will head to the patrol squad right now to complete my transfer. Just as Yan Hao is about to walk away, she calls out, Oh, by the way, the hospital damage fees you caused, I already paid them for you. You don't have to pay me back right now, but it will be deducted from your future salary. Meanwhile, Song Rui thinks to herself, Uncle, I will definitely find a way to save you. He scratches his head as he walks away, thinking, Figures. I still have to pay for the damages. She watches Yan Hao's retreating figure, deep in thought. Her intuition tells her that he holds the key to turning mutated beasts back into humans. The car stops in front of the patrol squad headquarters in Redstone City. Yan Hao looks at Kang Yu in confusion. Wait, you're joining the special forces too? Kang Yu slams the car door shut. Kang Yu confidently points to himself. Captain Song and Adjutant Lin both think highly of me. Even though I'm only joining the logistics department, Yan Hao, we can look out for each other from now on. Yan Hao looks at him, totally speechless. What is this guy's deal? Maybe I just never paid attention to him before. Suddenly, Kang Yu waves at someone behind Yan Hao. Look, it's Captain Gu, he's okay. Yan Hao turns around, only to see Gu Jun surrounded by a group of thugs. He gasps. The red-haired leader sneers. Old Gu. Remember when you slapped me back then because of that mute woman? He kicks Gu Jun hard in the stomach, making him cough in pain, looking like a stray dog. Are you begging our city defense force to pay compensation for your squad members? That man is Zhang Shui, the captain of the Redstone City Defense Force. Seeing this, Kang Yu rushes forward in anger, shouting, You bastards! But he is quickly pinned down by two of Zhang Shui's men. With just you? Kang Yu screams, Let go of Captain Gu. Zhang Shui grabs Gu Jun by the chin and demands, kneel down and lick the mud off my boots. If you don't. He points smugly at Kang Yu, threatening, I'll snap this kid's arm and give it to you to use as a drumstick. Hearing this, Gu Jun grinds his teeth in silent fury, completely helpless. Finding no other way out, he prepares to endure the humiliation and kneel. Suddenly, Yan Hao pulls him back up. No need to kneel. Surprised to see him, Gu Jun stammers, Yan Hao, you? He gives a warm smile. You've helped me so much in the past. This time, it's my turn to return the favor. With that, Yan Hao glares at the crowd and roars, with me, Yan Hao, here today. Anyone who dares touch a single hair on Captain Gu will have their bones crushed and burned as firewood. Hearing this, veins pop on their faces as their blood boils with rage, letting out collective scoffs. The four thugs, completely overestimating themselves, swing their clubs at him. You're asking for death. With incredible power, Yan Hao ducks to dodge, then lands a high kick straight to the bald guy's face right before their shocked eyes. 1. He then spins and drives his elbow into the chin of the guy on his right. 2. The thug behind him swings his club, but Yan Hao ducks under it and retaliates with a kick to the back of his knee. 3. As for the last guy, a simple punch to the stomach makes him spit a mouthful of blood. 4. The guy flies straight into the wall, shattering it into flying debris. In an instant, all four attackers are either knocked out or rolling on the ground clutching their legs. One of them screams, Our commander is an E-class warrior. You're dead meat for laying a hand on us. But a flash of shock crosses Zhang Shui's face. 4.4 seconds. How is this kid so fast? He decides to play dirty and pulls out a gun. You patrol squad trash. You dare defy the city defense force? Do you think I won't? Before he can finish, bullets are already fired. Yan Hao simply tilts his body slightly, dodging all 3 incoming bullets, and smirks. He bursts forward instantly, grabbing the gun right out of his hand. Faster than the speed of a gunshot, Yan Hao crushes the gun like an orange, right in front of Zhang Shui's terrified eyes. Too slow. A faint wisp of smoke rises from his hand, barely 1% of Song Rui's power. Still refusing to back down, Zhang Shui pulls out a dagger to attack him. But Yan Hao easily catches his hand with one hand, squeezing it until he trembles in sheer agony. He knocks the dagger away, grabs him by the throat with one hand, and lifts him off the ground. Didn't you just say you wanted Captain Gu to kneel? Zhang Shui's entire body shakes, but he still tries to yell, What? What are you doing? I'm warning you, don't. Yan Hao only tightens his grip on his neck. With all his might, he slams him face first into the ground, shattering the pavement, and that's it. Taking the full force of the blow, Zhang Shui immediately blackouts, foaming at the mouth. Everyone gasps in utter shock. He actually dodged bullets and crushed a standard-issue pistol with his bare hands. A red haze wafts from his arm. His physical strength after being enhanced by the Beast Core is way beyond expectation. The remaining thugs quickly grab their injured companions and flee with their tails between their legs, yelling, Monster! He's a monster! Run! Yan Hao bends down to pick up a crutch. Kang Yu places a hand on his shoulder and says, Brother Yan, you were literally a god of war just now. He turns to check on him. Hey, you okay? Kang Yu replies, I'm fine. I can take a beating. Gu Jun then takes back his crutch. Heavy. Yan Hao, thank you. Yan Hao replies, No need for thanks. Captain Gu, you've always helped me in the past. Now that I'm standing up to protect you, isn't it just the right thing to do? Captain Gu looks a bit hesitant. But what if the city defense force comes looking to cause trouble for you? Just then, Kang Yu reassures him, Don't worry, Captain. He turns to Yan Hao. Right now, Yan Hao and I are members of the Special Forces. The city defense force wouldn't dare mess with us. The scene shifts to the temporary base of the Special Forces in Qishi City. Song Rui's voice rings out, Is the handover process complete? Yan Hao just hums in response, and she continues, I've forwarded your application to headquarters. She places the approved invitation in front of him. Headquarters has officially approved it. Yan Hao exclaims, Ha, not bad at all. With a smirk, he asks, So does this mean I'm an official member now? Song Rui says coldly, No, don't get ahead of yourself, Yan Hao. The real challenge starts now. She looks him dead in the eye and says seriously, You must head to the Hucheng headquarters immediately to undergo the selection assessment for the Chiksu combat unit of the Special Forces. She encourages him, But with your strength, I'm sure passing it won't be a problem. Yan Hao turns to leave with a confident grin. Got it. Just wait for me to break some records. Time flies to the next morning in Hucheng City, where 4 military vehicles drive side by side down the road. Song Rui taps away on her screen. This is Hucheng, the capital of S Nation, and it's also where the Chixo headquarters is located. Sitting in the back, Yan Hao points at Kang Yu. I heard that official members of Chixue must be at least D-class warriors. So, how are warrior ranks assessed? This guy is so weak, Yan Hao wonders. Is he really allowed to take the Chixu assessment? Kang Yu scratches his neck. Hey, I can take a beating, you know. Song Rui explains that because he's joining the logistics squad, not the combat unit, he doesn't need to take the combat assessment. Kang Yu smiles, putting his hand on Yan Hao's shoulder with pride. The logistics squad will still head out to the battlefield with you guys. You'll be relying on me out there. Yan Hao, since we have some time right now, let's sync up our information. Song Rui goes on to explain the details. People who can unleash special abilities like me are collectively called warriors. Warriors are divided into 6 combat classes: S, A, B, C, D, and E. The Special Response Force headquarters has a dedicated evaluation system. The most basic criteria are physical constitution and athletic ability. She continues, as for the mutant beasts, they are ranked from weakest to strongest into 5 classes: Scout, Beast, Giant, Overlord, and Calamity. Generally, an E-class warrior can defeat a Scout-class mutant beast, and likewise, a class warrior can take down an Overlord-class beast. A and B-class warriors can defeat Giant-class beasts, while S-class warriors can take down Calamity-class beasts. Yan Hao listens intently. In addition, your compatibility with beast cores also affects your rank. He asks in confusion, Beast core compatibility? Song Rui nods. Yes. In this current apocalypse, only mutant beasts transformed by the red mist possess special abilities. Human warriors must rely on beast core armaments to adapt to the cores and trigger their own special abilities. She turns around. Physical constitution, talent, and luck all play a role in beast core compatibility. The higher the compatibility, the stronger the quality and number of abilities triggered. If you can't adapt to a beast core, the highest rank you can ever reach is E-class. Suddenly, a loud screech rings out as the vehicle carrying the 3 of them grinds to a halt. A soldier raises his hand. Apologies, this road is currently closed. Please take a detour. She speaks up with a threatening tone. You dare block the Special Response Force? But the soldier stands his ground. We are also performing official duties, so we really have no choice. Just then, a car passes by, and the mysterious figure inside catches her eye. Song Rui thinks to herself, this is the Chixu recruitment assessment. Why would an influential figure from the Lu Teng group show up here? Something isn't right. 1 hour later, at the Chixo recruitment assessment grounds, 40 candidates line up in front of 3 presiding judges. Chixu is humanity's strongest shield and the sharpest blade of the Special Response Force. The speaker is Lin Yongxin, the chief examiner of Chixo and an A-class warrior. His voice is powerful as he says, I don't care about your backgrounds. Now that you are here, you follow our rules. His voice echoes across the field. Pulling strings or using connections is absolutely forbidden here. No matter who you are, if you don't have real talent, don't even dream of staying in Chixu. With that, Lin Yongxin waves his hand. The first phase, physical assessment, begins now. 100-meter sprint carrying 50 kilograms. Yan Hao bursts ahead of everyone in the carrying run. Within 5 seconds, the gravity generator kicks in, and the others grit their teeth, struggling to lift 100 kilograms. But Yan Hao casually lifts 500 kilograms with a single hand, as if it were a wooden log. The candidate next to him gawks in disbelief, lifting 500 kilograms with just one hand? Next is the punching power test. He simply stands still and delivers a casual jab. The machine instantly breaks down, and he walks away under everyone's stunned gazes. The dynamometer is completely destroyed and unable to calculate his score. 10 minutes later, Yan Hao stands before Lin Yongxin to report. Reporting to the chief examiner, all tasks have been completed. He looks down at the tablet in his hands, confirming the completion. Total score, 198 points. Hearing that score, everyone is utterly shocked. 198 points? The previous record for a recruit was only 140 points. Could this kid be cheating? He is dead meat. Just then, someone stepped forward. Coach Lin said that the highest record for a new recruit was 140 points. He could not believe that score it completely shattered the record. He was Zhang Jin, the younger brother of the captain of the Redstone City Defense Force. I do not believe this. Yongxin glanced at Zhang Jin. I personally supervise this, and there is camera footage. Are you accusing me of rigging the test? A smirk tugged at his lips. No way, I would not dare. I was just curious. Zhang Jin brushed past Yan Hao. Are you Yan Hao from the Redstone City Patrol? He replied coldly. So what? A devious smile crept onto his face. Nothing, just saying hello since we are from the same town. Just you wait, kid. His eyes flashed with murderous intent. Whatever my brother suffered, I will make you pay double. She turned to look at his retreating back, filled with suspicion. From the same town? Yongxin read through his file. His name was Zhang Jin, a young master from the Redstone City Defense Force. Do you two know him? He replied that they did not. But in his mind, he already recognized him. The Redstone City Defense Force. So, that is how it is. Those guys are rotten to the core. He then announced everyone's scores and rankings one by one. Here are the results of the physical fitness test. 30th place, Zhang San with 89 points. 29th place, and third rank, Zhang Jin with 123 points. Second rank, Jin Ying with 135 points. First rank, he emphasized Yan Hao's score, Yan Hao with 198 points. The orange-haired girl looked at him with intrigue. I only came to this assessment for fun. I did not expect such a beast of a rookie to show up this year. How interesting. I will definitely have to study him closely. This was Jin Ying, a senior researcher at the Technical Intelligence Bureau. His voice echoed, the top 15 on the list, stay behind. We are moving on to the next test. Zhang Jin sat in his single dorm room, brooding. I should have taken first place, he muttered in frustration. Who could have known two absolute monsters would show up? A voice came from the tablet resting on his desk. If your brother was not Lu Deng's dog, would you even be qualified to take this exam? On the screen, two towering men radiating an overwhelming aura spoke. You only have one shot. You better handle this well. His face darkened. For my brother's sake, I must get into Crimson Blood. Everyone gathered in front of the Beast Core testing machine with serious expressions. Yongxin held up the bracelet on his wrist. This test is not complicated. You just need to wear this bracelet. With that, he placed his hand on the bracelet and continued. Then, just place the Beast Core into this wrist guard to run the test. Anyone with a Beast Core compatibility rate below 40% will be disqualified immediately. In case anyone is still unclear, let me briefly explain what a Beast Core is. Yongxin pointed to the Beast Core quality chart and said, First, they only form inside beasts above the Hound class. The stronger the beast, the higher the quality of the core it produces. By slotting them in, a warrior can use the same special abilities as the mutated beasts. Everyone has a different compatibility rate with these cores, and depending on that compatibility, you will awaken unique talents, granting your body different elemental attributes. Yongxin continued, This wrist guard is the lowest tier, meant only for testing compatibility, so it will not grant you any special abilities. Once you officially join the Special Response Team's combat unit, we will provide you with better beast cores and gear. He confidently announced, The Beast Core compatibility test begins now. Step up, one by one. The first person's compatibility rate was 39%. He shouted, I ranked 5th in physical fitness. Why is this test harder than actually killing mutated beasts? The next candidate's compatibility was 56%. He cheered, I passed. I can finally join Crimson Blood. Yongxin turned to Zhang Jin. Your turn. Zhang Jin turned around, his eyes bloodshot, and let out a cold snort. He picked up the beast core, his face a mix of anxiety and fear. He pressed the core firmly into the bracelet, his bloodshot eyes full of determination as he muttered, Obey me. The screen lit up with white text against a red background. Compatibility level, 60%. Everyone stared at Zhang Jin in shock. The strongest recruit so far was only at 56%. Does that make him the strongest of this batch? Zhang Jin smirked triumphantly. A bunch of trash. I am the strongest one here. With that, he stepped down amidst the cheers and chatter of the crowd. Jin Ying turned to Yan Hao and asked excitedly, Are you really from Redstone City? How come I have never heard of someone as strong as you before? She continued, After all, I am the know-it-all at the Technical Intelligence Bureau, yet you somehow managed to slip right under my radar. You are not as simple as you look, she rambled on. That bizarre spike in the red mist concentration back in Redstone City a few days ago, I bet it had something to do with you. Yan Hao played dumb. What are you even talking about? I have no idea what you mean. She smiled. It is fine if you do not want to admit it. Either way, just know that I am highly interested in you. Now, Yan Hao was left speechless. He playfully teased. Well then, since you know everything, miss, can I get you to dig up some info for me? Kim O-an gave a playful wink. Sure, but I have a condition. She pointed toward the compatibility testing machine. As long as your score beats mine, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. She enthusiastically emphasized, absolutely anything. Next up was Kim O-an. She happily ran over and shouted, my turn, my turn. Raising her wristband high, she called out, everyone, watch closely. This young lady is about to smash Truong Tan's record. Yan Hao felt a bit anxious, wondering, is she really that strong? Standing nearby, Truong Tan smirked contemptuously, playing the fool. She confidently picked up the beast core, a happy smile spreading across her face. She spun the beast core in her hand as if playing with a small stone. She tapped the beast core against her wristband and shouted, watch closely. Everyone cried out in unison, a D-class warrior at 78% compatibility? That's impossible. A score like this had never been seen before. Is there something wrong with the machine? She smiled with triumphant satisfaction, flashing a thumbs up to show how incredibly well she did. She ran back to Yan Hao and bragged. See? I told you I'd break Truong Tan's record. Truong Tan stammered. Oh. Seething inside, he thought that besides Yan Hao, he couldn't let this clueless girl off the hook either. The last person to go was Yan Hao. Looking anxious, he realized her strength was indeed formidable, and she probably wasn't lying. She really did seem to know a lot of things. Standing beside him, Kim O-an teased provocatively. Well? Feeling the pressure yet? Yan Hao knew that, to get clues about Tu Yet, he had to win this bet. He boldly declared, you'd better watch closely. Yan Hao stared at the beast core and pondered. According to Tong Yi, his warrior level should at least be class. The quality of this beast core was identical to the one he had absorbed before. They were both pitch black. He flashed a confident smile. What would his compatibility be like? He raised his hand, eager to see just how much potential he had. On the display screen, a brilliant class appeared against a bright red background. Everyone froze, their jaws dropping in utter shock. Look, it says class up there. Only a squad leader can achieve that kind of level. The system's voice suddenly rang out. System error. The detected beast core compatibility is. Everyone held their breath. What about the compatibility? What's going on? The system's voice continued. No, it is 0%. Yan Hao's eyes went wide, absolute bewilderment written all over his face. At that moment, Truong Tan burst into a mocking, smug laugh. What a useless loser. Your bragging is hilarious. Even the beast core rejects you. Yan Hao remained calm, though his expression darkened. As he slightly lifted his hand, he suddenly sensed that something was terribly wrong. Seeing the beast core in his hand starting to crack and shatter, Yan Hao thought to himself, this is bad. One of his eyes flashed brightly. Was his own body trying to devour this beast core? At the same time, Kim O-an rushed over to the control panel and exclaimed, 0% compatibility has never happened before. Even the worst score should be at least 1%. I have to record this. The old man will definitely be thrilled. Meanwhile, Truong Tan still scoffed inwardly. Oh, that kid's beast core. Then he turned to Dung Tin and said, Instructor Lam. Yan Hao stole the beast core. It disappeared from his hand. Hearing this, Dung Tin bellowed in anger. Yan Hao, put your hands up. Let me see your wristband and the beast core. But there was nothing left in his hand. Dung Tin demanded, where is your beast core? Yan Hao quickly tried to explain. He helplessly held up his hands and said, I don't know what's going on either. This was a tricky situation. He had to quickly make up an excuse, or he would definitely end up as a lab rat. Right then, a massive surge of energy suddenly erupted from Yan Hao's hand. He decided to take a gamble and pass off his beastification as an ability triggered by the beast core. At that exact moment, the energy condensed, forming a monstrous, demonic hand over Yan Hao's arm. Truong Tan looked on in confusion, wondering what on earth that thing was. Dung Tin drew his weapon, rushed forward, and barked an order. Stay alert! Everyone fall back! Witnessing this scene, Kim O-an gasped in surprise and laughed. Could this be beastification? Dung Tin exclaimed in astonishment. Beastification? Dung Tin stood frozen in shock. Has this kid been infected? Everyone fall back. We have no choice but to take him down right here. Panicking, she yelled, "Hey, Yan Hao, can you hear me?" Startled, he turned to her and replied, "What is it?" Seeing them talking so normally, Deng Tin was taken aback. "You haven't lost your mind?" At the same time, the energy was flowing into Yan Hao's hand. It seemed the power of the beast core was integrating on its own. So that was how it worked. Kim Oan ran over, grabbed his arm, and shouted, "He hasn't lost control. This is a transformation ability. Oh my god, this is the very first time we've seen this." As the others buzzed with excitement, Deng Tin's expression shifted. "We've hit the jackpot. Beastification with self-recovery? I've never heard of such a thing. This must be an incredibly rare ability." Yan Hao turned to her, looking bewildered. "Who on earth are you? Why do you know so much?" Kim Oan instantly replied, "I already told you. I'm Miss Know-It-All." Deng Tin placed a hand on her head and added, "Her name is Kim Oan, a new recruit for Red Blood this term. She is a member of Crimson Blood and also a senior researcher at the Technical Intelligence Bureau. Her father, Major General Kim An-thon, is in charge of the entire technical research department." Kim Oan gasped and yelled, "Instructor Lam, how dare you spill my secrets like that? You completely ruined my mysterious vibe." At this point, he reached out his hand and said, "All right, this comedy show ends here. Yan Hao, hand over the beast core." Hearing this, he scratched his head helplessly. Instructor Lam, it is not that I am refusing to hand it over." Yan Hao pointed to his wrist. "This thing is literally stuck inside me and won't come out." They then continued to talk for quite a while. Truong Tan watched this in frustration, thinking to himself, did that beast core actually fuse into his body? He clutched his head. "I need to quickly report this to the people at Ludang. This guy is the ultimate test subject." A little later, inside the radiation lab, he was lying inside a scanner for a physical examination. The examiners were whispering among themselves, saying they had never heard of a beast core growing on a human body before. What is more, the beast core seemed to have completely fused with his body, making it impossible to remove easily. Just then, An-thon and Kim Oan walked in. The examiner turned to them, looking flustered. "Director Kim, what do you think?" He put his hand to his chin and smirked. "He is definitely worth researching. There are bound to be plenty of secrets hidden inside his body." Deng Tin was also there, and he asked, "Director Kim, what is the situation? What on earth is this kid's background?" He replied, "Why? Are you guys from Crimson Blood still planning to strictly follow that rule and reject anyone with a compatibility rate under 40%? Tong Lim spoke up. "Stop keeping us in the dark. Old Kim, tell us exactly what is going on." He replied, "My team developed this testing equipment alongside Lu Dang, so I understand it better than anyone. It is definitely not broken." Kim Oan whined from behind him, "Dad, just tell us already. I am dying of curiosity here. What is the deal with him?" An-thon's face darkened. The machine's measuring limit was exceeded. His compatibility level is completely unprecedented, surpassing our maximum theoretical value of 100%. Upon hearing this, he immediately turned around and said, "Deng Tin, follow me right now." He quickly replied, "Yes, sir." Yan Hao thought to himself, "My spirit core is turning from black to red. Is it because it absorbed that small beast core? Last time, absorbing the beast core of that Overlord class insect allowed me to steal its special ability and even activated the spirit core in my body. This time, even though absorbing a low-level beast core didn't give me any new abilities, it still strengthened my spirit core. As the purity of my spirit core rises, its color shifts to red, increasing both my efficiency and the total reserve of my crimson mist. In other words, the stronger the beast I absorb, the more powerful I will become. It is like an old rusty color, reddish-brown with spots. As long as I keep stealing from these beasts, I can evolve infinitely." At the Special Ops headquarters, the towering Crimson Blood main base stood tall, exuding an incredibly majestic and intimidating aura. Tong Nui loudly questioned Tong Liam. "I was the one who brought Yan Hao here. What is wrong with having him join my squad?" He sternly replied, "Lieutenant Tong Nui, mind your rank and how you address me. And besides, are you not caring a bit too much about that class recruit?" She pleaded. "But Dad, I promised him I would get him into my squad. You cannot make me break my promise as a soldier." Tong Liam walked away coldly. A soldier's honor is dedicated to the country, not to an individual. Yan Hao has already joined Deng Tin's squad, and that is final. As a Crimson Blood squad leader, are you really going to fight him over a recruit? Return to your post. That is an order. Tong Nui reluctantly acknowledged the order, but in her head, she was already plotting. I will just have to find another way. Over at the Crimson Blood Barracks, inside the break room, someone shouted, Ngim Hao, I have got huge news. Kim Oan ran over to Ngim Hao with a huge grin on her face and told him that the newly discovered monster lair between Lake City and Red Rock City was going to be used for a Crimson Blood recruit expedition. I already asked Instructor Lam to put us in the same squad. Ngim Hao, class, Crimson Blood Special Ops, member of Lam Dung Tin's squad. He was completely taken aback. Wait, what? Right after, Dung Tin laid out the mission details for the two of them. The mission goal is to scout the area and assess the threat level. Stay alert at all times. Even though it is a low-level monster lair, the Crimson Mist can cause unexpected mutations. Kim Oan, D-Class, Senior Researcher at the Crimson Blood Technical Intelligence Bureau, member of Lam Dung Tin's squad. She confidently told Ngim Hao, Data collection is my specialty. Do not worry, I will look out for you. Before long, they got into the vehicle and headed out on their mission. Kim Oan explained, the threat levels of monster lairs are split into 4 tiers: low, medium, high, and extreme. They are also categorized into many different types. The low-level lair we are heading to is a hive type. It has a simple structure, but the tunnels inside are highly complex. To make matters worse, there is a massive swarm of iron hornets, consisting of tons of worker bees and a few soldier bees. He asked, puzzled. It is just a wasp nest. Couldn't a single person handle that on their own? Why do we need 3 truckloads of people? She replied with a knowing look. Iron hornets are nothing like your average little honeybees. Before Kim Oan could even finish her sentence, the driver suddenly cut in. Looks like there is something up ahead. Hearing this, Ngim Hao immediately looked outside to check out the surroundings. Whoa, is that bee really that massive? She snapped in irritation. I told you, they're Zich Hao class Thiet Fong, not honeybees. The driver was a nobody from the patrol squad, a low-ranking grunt, currently serving as a utility soldier in the Special Response Unit. He quickly swerved the vehicle to dodge the swarm. Everyone, hold on tight. The swarm launched dozens of stingers at the vehicle. Kim Oan cried out in panic. This is bad. Those are Thiet Fong stings. Our armored vehicle won't be able to hold them off. He immediately volunteered. Leave the swarm outside to me. It's the perfect chance to test this new technique I've been working on. Meanwhile, the vehicle was taking a relentless beating from thousands of stingers raining down from the swarm. Ngim Hao quickly melted the vehicle's door. He leaped outside, shouting, Find some cover and hold your ground. I'll be right back. Ngim Hao forcefully swung his arm, facing off against the aggressive swarm. The driver gasped in amazement. What kind of power is that? Turning a door into a weapon? She grinned proudly and explained, It's a transformation ability. During his assessment, he absorbed a beast core. Back then, I thought he could only transform himself. I had no idea he could extend his transformation power to cover other objects. So he can basically turn anything into a weapon. This is absolutely incredible. I need to record his combat data. I definitely have to study this thoroughly. Outside, while he was fighting, a deep blue attack suddenly shot out of nowhere, heading straight for him. It pierced right through Ngim Hao's arm guard. Blue? What the hell is that? This thing is even stronger than a Thiet Fong's sting. It completely shattered my defense. I have to find out where it's coming from. Otherwise, I'll be worn down to death sooner or later. He immediately shouted to warn the others. There's another enemy. Unknown origin. Kim Oan, be careful. Find some cover. Kim Oan and the driver quickly ran from the vehicle, with her shouting, Get behind that boulder. A man in protective gear holding a flamethrower rushed out of another vehicle, shouting, Thiet Fong are weak to fire. Kim Oan screamed a warning. Don't go out there, but it was too late. The moment he stepped past the boulder's cover, he was hit. A blue spike pierced right through his fuel tank, triggering a massive explosion that swallowed him whole. Fighting off the swarm, Ngim Hao yelled, Kim Oan, where are those blue spikes coming from? Checking her tablet, she replied, It's a Leap Kuyen class queen wasp. The stinger on its tail is venomous and can corrode Class C armor and below. A Leap Kuyen class is here. The intel was wrong. This is definitely not a low-level nest. Help me handle these honeybees first, and I'll go take down the queen. Kim Oan immediately got into a fighting stance and replied, Got it. Kim Oan is a D-class elemental type with wind manipulation as her basic ability. She raised her hands to cast her spell as a tempest brewed, the surrounding wind turning violent. Kim Oan commanded, Rise, wind. Her gale force winds blew back the low-level Thiet Fong, clearing away the red mist to reveal the Queen Wasp's location. Locking his eyes on the target, he muttered, "Gotcha." It looked far more powerful and ferocious than the ordinary wasps. Yan Hao used his strength to twist his previous shield into a long cylinder, fashioning a sharp spear. This shape should do the trick. Yan Hao slammed his foot down to build momentum, cracking the ground beneath him. He got into position, his eyes locked onto his target. Unleashing immense power, Yan Hao hurled the spear straight at the Queen Wasp. Go. A surge of red energy shot straight toward the Thiet Fong. It pierced clean through the creature, making it roar in agony. Direct hit. Kim Owen stared at the Thiet Fong in disbelief. It was impossible. Even after taking a fatal strike from Yan Hao, it seemed completely unfazed. Her eyes grew cold. How could a mere Leap Kuyan class possess such terrifying resilience? She thought to herself. Could it be because? She rushed over to Yan Hao and yelled, "Yan Hao, don't let it escape. It's about to evolve into an overlord." Yan Hao collapsed onto the ground. Just let it go. He had absolutely no energy left. He thought, without the red mist to replenish my energy, I should have saved some strength to fight the queen. Kim Owan looked down at Yan Hao with a smug grin. Look at you, playing dead like a flopping fish. Are you hoping this lady will give you mouth to mouth? Yan Hao shot back sarcastically. Sorry, I'm not interested in kids. Kim Owan huffed. Who are you calling a kid? Still, she cheerfully held out a candy bar to him. Eat this first, then take a break. Yan Hao hesitated. Actually, being out of energy isn't because I'm hungry. Jia Tuan rushed over to them, shouting, Yan Hao, are you guys okay? Yan Hao replied, We're fine. Let's clean up the battlefield and set up a temporary camp. We need to report this immediately. Kim Owen smirked playfully. I reported it ages ago. Everyone turned their attention to a rising mound of earth. Kim Owen checked her scanner and said, The red mist concentration inside the base is still low. We can head in wearing protective gear. Yan Hao asked, concerned, Aren't we going to wait for backup? Kim Owen argued, That Queen Wasp is injured. This is our best chance to gather data and take it down. Besides, the threat level of this base has been raised to medium-high. She continued, If we succeed, we'll totally jump ranks. Completing this mission comes with massive rewards. Inside the Chief of Staff's office at the Special Response Team headquarters, Tong Liam stood with his back to Deng Tin. Right now, the higher-ups are heavily divided. It is not just us who want him as our ultimate weapon. There is also a bunch of mad scientists who want to use him as a lab rat. With a sharp look in his eyes, Tong Liam ordered, Yan Hao is highly unusual. Keep a close eye on him. Deng Tin's face darkened as he reported, Sir, we have an emergency. Tong Liam commanded, Patch it through, now. Understood, Deng Tin replied. He then roared into the phone. What did you say? The threat level of the outpost Yan Hao and his team are exploring is spiking from low to high. Yan Hao and Kim Owan already went inside. Deng Tin's face fell. Isn't that completely reckless? Tong Liam pondered. Little Kim Owen might seem unreliable, but she is actually very cautious. She wouldn't take reckless risks. Something is off here. Realizing something, he quickly ordered, dispatch the nearest Crimson Blood squad to back them up immediately. Have Tong Nui lead the team. Our main objective is to guarantee the safety of Kim Owan and Yan Hao. Just then, an adjutant rushed in and reported in a serious voice, leaving Deng Tin completely surprised to see him. Tong Liam asked, Aren't you supposed to be in the hospital? The adjutant nodded silently. Tong Liam commanded, Adjutant Lam, report to Lieutenant Tong Nu immediately and assume your post as her deputy. That is an order. The adjutant saluted. Understood, Deng Tin sighed in defeat. So you were the one who assigned him to Tong Nui in the first place. Tong Liam brushed it off, waving him away. He thought to himself, Nui, I don't know why you care so much about Yan Hao, but this is the only thing your father can do for you. Meanwhile, Yan Hao was walking with Kim Owen. He thought, only Kim Owen and I have the Crimson Blood protective suits to withstand this red mist. I hope everything goes smoothly. Kim Owen looked at her tracker and said, The energy levels haven't changed much. She found it strange. But if that Queen Wasp from earlier manages to evolve into an Overlord class, destroying the pillar is going to be incredibly difficult. Suddenly, Yan Hao stopped Kim Owen. Hold on! A massive, terrifying iron wasp loomed over them, radiating pure menace. Yan Hao and Kim Owen panicked. Oh no! It is a mutated armored poison stinger Queen Wasp. Looking at its size and that massive stinger on its tail, It's definitely an Overlord class. Kim Oh-an gasped in horror. It actually succeeded in evolving. She thought to herself, how is this possible? The low concentration of red mist shouldn't be enough for it to level up this fast. Not only that, the other minion class poison stinger wasps have been buffed as well. Terrified, she panicked. The concentration of red mist has long passed the warning threshold, so why didn't the analyzer trigger the alarm? Seeing Kim Oh-an collapse onto the ground, Yan Hao called out, Kim Oh-an. She choked out. What's worse, our protective suits have been tampered with. The resistance to the red mist is fading. We have a mole inside the crimson blood. Suddenly, deafening screeches echoed from the massive holes in the cavern. Yan Hao grabbed Kim Oh-an's hand and yelled, fall back. A smirk crossed his face as he thought to himself, I was just worrying about running low on red mist energy, and now it is literally delivering itself to me. But first, I need to get Kim Oh-an to a safe place. Fighting on this kind of terrain is too risky with her around. He kicked a massive boulder with all his might, shattering it. He told Kim Oh-an, hide here. This spot provides both cover and ventilation, so you should be able to hold out for a while. He then instructed her, Kim Oh-an, contact headquarters and tell the reinforcements to prepare extra protective gear. I will go hold them off. Kim Oh-an replied confidently, leave it to me. I will update them on the outpost data and the current situation. As Yan Hao turned to leave, a voice called out, hey, Yan Hao. He turned back to see Kim Oh-an looking at him playfully. If you don't make it back, I will haunt you even from the depths of hell, Yan Hao replied firmly. Don't worry, I will definitely come back. With confident strides, he stepped in front of the iron wasp. He thought, I now have enough strength to protect the people who matter to me. So this time, I will keep my promise, just like I did with Tu Yet. He roared at the iron wasp. Bring it on. I absolutely cannot fail. Yan Hao found himself in a tight spot, completely surrounded by the iron wasps. Gathering his strength, he thought, if I use the Overlord class bug armor skill, my remaining red mist energy is only enough for one single shot. I absolutely cannot miss. Yan Hao drew his arm back, telling himself, focus, I need to condense it first. He unleashed his crimson condensation blast, triggering a massive explosion. Yan Hao's energy was so immense that it flooded the entire space in a sea of red. His attack blasted forward, tearing right through the beast. As the mist slowly cleared, Yan Hao wondered, did it work? Suddenly, plumes of gas rose from beneath his feet. Yan Hao realized in shock. The red mist. Right then, countless glowing eyes of the iron wasps appeared before him. Yan Hao's face fell as he muttered, you've got to be kidding me. 3 minutes ago, Kim Oh-an complained. Just as I thought, someone definitely tampered with the analyzer. All right, now it should measure the red mist concentration properly. Suddenly, a warning blared. Danger, danger. Red mist concentration exceeds safe limits. She grit her teeth. Why is this number so high? It's already double the warning threshold. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind slammed into Kim Oh-an, forcing her to shield herself. Squinting through the blast, Kim Oh-an caught sight of a strange light. Looking through this small gap. Wait, did it just explode? Oh no, the condensed mist is making the red mist even thicker. By absorbing such highly concentrated red mist, these swarms have evolved at a crazy speed. Even the lowest scout rank has evolved into a Hound-class beast. Right now, the Thietfong are baring their claws and swarming Yan Hao. He's growing anxious. Why are there more of them as the fight goes on? And they're getting stronger too. Even with the red mist surrounding me, the rate I'm replenishing my energy can't keep up with how fast I'm burning through it. Yan Hao struggles to hold his ground. If this keeps up, he'll be completely drained. Kim Oh-an watches in sheer tension, wondering if he can even hold out. Wait a second. His neck. Those are symptoms of red mist contamination. Someone must have tampered with his protective suit. She holds up the mist detector to check the levels. To her absolute shock, the readings are still climbing. He's about to lose control. I have to blow the red mist away from Yan Hao first. She channels her power, unleashing a wind pressure blast. Instantly, the gale generated by Kim Oh-an sweeps the red mist away from him. She gives a thumbs up, signaling that now is the perfect moment. Finally, Kim Oh-an curls her fingers into a fist and commands sharply, detonate! A massive explosion erupts instantly, leaving Yan Hao standing right in the middle, completely dazed. Panic sets in, and he curses under his breath. With a pale face, Yan Hao wonders, who the hell blew away the red mist? My power source has been cut off. The Thietfong swarm, their eyes glowing red in a mindless frenzy. unleash a barrage of razor-sharp stingers right at him. Yan Hao crosses his arms to shield his body. He quickly analyzes the attack. The venom on these stingers causes paralysis, but just then, more stingers rain down from behind him. Yan Hao's eyes widen as his heart sinks. Oh no, I can't dodge this in time. Right at that split second, Dongqi dashes in like a flash of light. He uses his back to shield the boy from the onslaught. Looking at him, Yan Hao gasps in disbelief. Gritting his teeth through the pain, Adjutant Lam Dongqi speaks with difficulty. The battle isn't over yet. Focus. Just as the two of them are completely surrounded by the Thiet Fong, bursts of magical energy suddenly blast through the air. It's Tong Nu, arriving with reinforcements to save the day. He asks in confusion, "Captain Tong, what are you doing here?" Heaving her rifle onto her shoulder, she replies, "We received orders from headquarters to back you guys up." Tong Nu barks an order. "All units, attack, wipe out these pests." The entire squad charges forward, shouting in unison, "Yes, ma'am." Chaos erupts in a sea of blazing fire. Following Tong Nui's directions, Team A uses extreme heat to suppress the path ahead, while Team B blankets the mid-range with heavy cover fire. Adjutant Lam, take in Yan Hao and fall back to recover and regroup. The adjutant and Yan Hao obey her orders and retreat. Understood, Captain Tong. At that exact moment, the Overlord-class Thiet Fong Queen arches her stinger, prepping for an attack. A beam of crimson energy shoots toward them, leaving the flamethrower soldiers in shock. What on earth is that? It's too fast. The blast is heading straight for the adjutant. A soldier cries out in panic, "Adjutant Lam, watch out." Meanwhile, Tong Nu stands completely unfazed, calmly aiming her rifle to line up the shot. She commands, "Don't look back, keep running." She analyzes the situation. An Overlord class? I've got no choice but to use that move. After charging her weapon to maximum capacity, she unleashes a thunderous blast. Electromagnetic annihilation. The high-voltage electrical field generated by this move destroys and paralyzes everything in its radius. The electromagnetic annihilation instantly overpowers the Thiet Fong Queen's attack and slams directly into her body. The surrounding soldiers erupt in cheers. Look, Captain Tong's shot hit the target. Wait. Looking at that massive size, that's the Overlord-class Queen Wasp from the intelligence report researcher Kim sent us. Now severely weakened, the Thiet Fong Queen takes flight in a desperate attempt to escape, with residual electrical sparks still crackling across her body. Tong Nui speaks up. She's heading upward. I've paralyzed her, so she won't get far. Clear out the surrounding swarm and prioritize search and rescue. Everyone shouts in unison, "Yes, ma'am." Witnessing her overwhelming power, Yan Hao says in awe, "Wow, is Tong Nu really that strong?" The adjutant turns to explain, "Well, the last time we were at Shichthak City, she didn't have her main combat gear with her, and she wasn't even wearing her tactical armor, so she couldn't unleash her full strength." Tong Nui walks over and asks, "Where's Kim Owan?" He immediately points and replies, "She's over there." Standing behind them with her hands on her hips, Kim Owan complains in an annoyed tone, "Ice Queen Tong, if you'd been 10 minutes later, you'd be collecting my corpse." Tong Nui replies, "My dear Lady Kim, you'd better treat me to dinner when we get back. You still haven't paid me back for saving you last time." Having completed his task, a soldier walks over to report, "Captain Tong, our top priority of rescuing the wounded is complete." "What are our next orders?" She replies, "Wipe out the swarm. We need to eliminate the threat of this nest once and for all." While the others are busy talking, Yan Hao slips away to the back, seizing the chance to absorb some red mist energy. Enveloped by the red mist, he slowly absorbs the vapor. "I can't believe that mist cannon earlier didn't kill the queen. I'll have to try again." A moment later, once he's absorbed enough, Yan Hao raises his hands, feeling the fresh surge of energy flowing through him. Fully charged. It's done. Suddenly, he notices the red mist moving, gathering in one place. At the same time, the rest of the squad also spots the strange movement of the mist. They all look up in the same direction. The adjutant curiously watches as the Thiet Fong returns and starts absorbing all the red mist. Kim Owan shouts, "It's drawing in all the red mist from the beast nest. It's gritting its teeth, enduring the pain of its body mutating." In shock, Kim Owen asks, "Is it trying to level up like this?" "No way. Didn't it just reach the Overlord level?" Right then, the detector in Kim Owen's hand starts blaring an emergency warning. "Danger! Danger! The red mist level is about to break through level 4. Staring at the red mist, she gasps, "Where on earth is this red mist coming from? Is this beast nest actually a high-grade one?" The Thiet Fong Queen opens her mouth wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth, and lets out a deafening screech. Immediately, a swarm of Thiet Fong workers surround the squad, trying to buy time for their queen to focus on evolving. Seeing this, the adjutant quickly reports, "Captain Tong, a massive swarm of Hound-level bees has appeared behind us." Sensing the extreme danger, Yan Hao leaps into the air and shouts, "You guys handle the swarm. I have a way to deal with the queen." The two girls gasp, calling out his name, Yan Hao. Tong Nui immediately orders, "All units, attack the swarm and cover Yan Hao." The adjutant replies, "Roger that." Yan Hao zigzags up the walls to launch an attack on the Thiet Fong Queen. He is determined to take her down once and for all, otherwise, they will all die here. He mutates his arm, slashing with his claws, but it does absolutely nothing. He realizes that claws alone won't cut it. Unleashing his crimson condensation blast, he strikes her head on. He lands back on the ground, just as an earth-shattering explosion goes off. Yan Hao stares intently into the thick white smoke. Did it work? But suddenly, a lightning-fast counterattack cuts through the smoke. It lunges straight at him, but he barely manages to dodge. Yan Hao analyzes the situation. Explosive energy alone isn't enough to deal a fatal blow. I need a heavier weapon. He turns back to look at the spot where the Thiet Fong attacked. He wonders, who? The Queen's stinger? He walks over, grabs the sharp stinger, and uses his beast mutation ability to wrap around it, transforming it into a sword. Dodging a barrage of attacks from the Thiet Fong Queen, Yan Hao leaps from stinger to stinger, closing the distance. He slices a stinger in half, gritting his teeth as he channels all of his remaining red mist energy into the blade. "Since you were nice enough to give me a weapon, I should return the favor with a little gift." He grips the sword tightly, preparing to unleash his red mist slash. With a single downward strike from above, he splits the Thiet Fong Queen clean in half. A few seconds later, her body violently explodes. Yan Hao stabs his sword into the ground, completely exhausted. Through the rising smoke, a glowing red crystal core appears. Pushing through his exhaustion, he fixes his eyes on the treasure ahead, an Overlord-level beast core. Reaching out to grab it, he smirks, "I actually got it." He squeezes his fist and begins to absorb the core, causing the energy inside him to react violently. "This thing is incredibly powerful. It completely refilled my own core in an instant." Suddenly, a surge of raw red energy erupts from his body, forcing him to his knees in agony. Arg. I can't take much more of this. Nearby, a flash of electricity quickly wipes out the remaining bees. The adjutant reports to the captain, "The swarm has been completely cleared, Captain." Kim Owen wonders, why did they suddenly seem so much weaker? Tong Nui commands, "Hurry. We need to back up Yan Hao immediately." But as she turns around, she sees him lying motionless on the ground. Horrified, she screams, "Yan Hao!" Now, Yan Hao lies unconscious on the floor while Kim Oan monitors his condition. She says, "His heart rate is dangerously high, and his neural signals are failing. These blood vessels on his shoulder are digging deep into his flesh like thorns." Yan Hao grits his teeth, his face contorted in pain. Kim Oan continues, "He's been exposed to way too much red mist. There's a high risk he might completely lose his mind." Hearing this, Tong Nui turns to Adjutant Lam and orders, "Use the mobile medical pod to block his neural transmissions." Adjutant Lam replies, "Understood." Back at the temporary camp outside the Beast-Tide zone, a vehicle speeds toward them. A paramedic steps out, carefully lifting him into the medical pod, and anxiously asks Adjutant Lam, "What happened to Brother Nguyen? Is he going to be okay?" The adjutant calmly replies, "He's stable for now." Meanwhile, Tong Nui turns to Kim Oan, "You're our technical expert here. I'm leaving the medical pod's monitoring and calibration to you." She complies instantly. "Got it." As the pod doors seal, a system alert chimes. Medical pod activated. Commencing anesthetic injection. Kim Oan stares at the control monitor for a moment before turning to report to Tong Nu, "This is only a temporary fix. We have to head back to headquarters immediately for proper treatment." Crossing her arms, Tong Nui quietly replies, "I know." Deep inside his subconscious, another Yan Hao appears. It looks like an inner demon, choking him tightly, its eyes filled with sheer greed. It sneers, "Give me your body. Just embrace the mutation." Fragmented memories flash before him, the tears of his father, his mother, and his little sister. He thought to himself, "Am I really about to die? I'm so sorry, Mom, Dad." Xiao Shui. Yan Hao's body slowly drifted down as he thought, this is it, it's all over. Right behind his inner demon, the image of his father appeared. Take good care of your little sister, he said, and standing right next to him was his mother. She smiled gently and said, live, my son. You must survive. Meanwhile, the monster pinned him down, wearing a smug, victorious grin. Then, a warm, gentle voice echoed, promise me, big brother. You have to come back safe and sound. As the monster choked the life out of him, a spark of resolve reignited deep within Yan Hao, Xiao Shui. She's still waiting for me. The faces of his comrades also flashed before his eyes, offering warm words of encouragement. Yan Hao, you're a warrior. The battle isn't over yet. Stay focused. Brother Yan, I know you can do this. He even heard Jin Ying's slightly arrogant voice. I won't let you give up like this. Yan Hao, wake up. Wake up right now. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open. His mind raced, telling himself over and over, everyone is waiting for me. No, it's not over yet. I have to survive. Thick chains wrapped tightly around the monster's limbs, dragging it away. His determination surged fiercely. I have to find Xiao Shui. I'm going to protect everyone I care about. I can't afford to fall here. This isn't just my responsibility. Yan Hao pointed directly at his own chest and yelled, it's your responsibility too. With that, streaks of glowing red light flew into his body one after another. Deep down, he whispered to himself, let's go back. Everyone is waiting for us. Yan Hao let out a soft smile. He stared at the glowing stone with crimson eyes. Is this the price of power? Every single breakthrough feels like dancing on the edge of the abyss. But then, a cold realization hit him. Something was wrong. Why? Why couldn't he open his eyes? His entire body was completely paralyzed. Outside, the convoy struggled to push through a blinding sandstorm, unable to see even a few feet ahead. A rescue worker radioed in. The sandstorm is too intense. I can't see a thing. It's too dangerous to keep driving like this. Hearing this, the adjutant quickly searched for a location on his computer. Captain Song, he said. There's an ancient city ruin about 3 kilometers from here. Should we head there for shelter? While the driver focused on the road, Song turned to the back seat and asked, Jin Ying, how is Yan Hao doing? Her eyes glued to the screen, she replied, his vitals have temporarily stabilized, but he still hasn't regained consciousness. She turned and commanded, Adjutant Lin, head into the ruins and tell the backup vehicles to follow. One by one, the convoy rolled into the ruins, swallowed by thick fog and howling winds. Within moments, they were inside. Song called out, everyone, step out and take a breather. She stepped out, scanning the surroundings with alert eyes. Sensing danger, Song ordered, Jin Ying, something's not right here. Scan the environment immediately for structural stability, red fog concentration, and heat signatures. Jin Ying nodded. On it. She then added, keep him secure. Protecting him is headquarters' top priority. Her subordinates responded firmly. Roger that. At that very moment, masked figures lurking on the upper floors initiated their plan. A barrage of glowing green arrows rained down, catching everyone off guard. Yongzi's face fell. Shielding against the attack, he yelled, ambush! Take cover now! The arrows hissed through the air, instantly corroding the armored plating of the vehicles. Jin Ying ducked behind a car and yelled in terror, these arrows are coated in venomous wasp fluid. Suddenly, a massive boulder came crashing down from above. Reacting instantly, Song screamed, scatter! She violently kicked the medical pod holding Yan Hao away, saving it from the crushing blow. She dove away just as the boulder slammed into the ground. Shrapnel flew everywhere, and debris was about to rain down on her. But Yongzi dashed in, using his hardened body to shield her from the debris. Watch out for flying shards, Jin Ying, he warned. The dense fog made the attackers look like ghosts as they completely surrounded the building. The attackers were holding strange bottles in their hands. From below, Song barked out, don't let them escape, take them all down. The attackers burst into wicked laughter. How about you taste this first? One of them sneered. He hurled a flask down at them. The moment it hit the ground, it shattered, unleashing a thick cloud of blue gas. Song gasped. What is this? As the gas quickly expanded, she covered her nose and warned, damn it, this is fluid from an Overlord-class beast. This gas will paralyze us. Sensing their advantage, the attackers swooped down in droves. Wipe them out, they roared. A massive thug armed with a giant battle axe charged right at Song, snarling, hand over all your valuables, sweetheart. Without a word, she delivered a brutal kick straight to his groin. "Get the hell off me," she spat with pure disgust. The electric shock from her kick sent him flying yards away, but as she went to press her advantage, a heavy chain suddenly shot out, hooking onto the medical pod where Yan Hao was still recovering. Song-er stumbled, her knees giving out as she collapsed to the ground. "Damn it," she cursed to herself. "The paralysis is kicking in." The attackers cheered in triumph. "We got a hook on it. Pull it up, quick. They're risking their lives to protect this iron box, so there's got to be something valuable inside." Jin Ying, terrified and desperate, she rushed toward the cabin and screamed, "Don't touch him." Suddenly, a cold arrow pierced right through her ankle, sending Kim Oan collapsing to the ground, trembling in agonizing pain. She could only watch helplessly as they dragged Yan Hao away. Inside the cabin, he lay completely still, as if he were just fast asleep. A strange red aura wrapped around his body. Pale from the intense pain, Kim Oan gasped out in a trembling voice, We have to save Yan Hao right now." Tong Ni knelt down and grabbed the arrow still stuck in Kim Oan's leg. She tried to calm her down, saying, "Just bear with it for a second, and try not to speak." But deep down, she was furious. Not only did they let Yan Hao get captured, but now Kim Oan was seriously hurt too. How did things screw up this badly? Without hesitation, she snapped off the arrowhead in her leg. Once it was done, Tong Ni warned her, "This is the best I can do for now. Do not move around." Kim Oan sat back, holding back her tears as she asked suspiciously, "Those bandits, they were lying in wait before we even got here. It makes no sense. How did they know our every move?" Just then, Deng Qi rushed in to report, "Captain Tong, the area has been cleared. Most of the refugees and bandits took advantage of the poison to make their escape." Tong Ni frowned as she looked outside at the raging sandstorm. There is no way they could move Yan Hao across the surface in this. They must have headed underground. Deng Qi quickly added, "We found an abandoned elevator shaft. Our initial scan shows it might lead straight down. That has to be the path to their hideout." Hearing this, Tong Ni immediately ordered, "Assemble everyone. We are launching a direct assault. Our main objective is to rescue Yan Hao. Team A, seal off the exit and protect Kim Oan. Fo Quan Lam and Team B, you are with me. We are going down." She laid down the ultimate rule. Failure is not an option. "Sir, yes sir," the squad shouted in unison. Suddenly, an urgent voice called out from behind them. "Captain Tong, please let me go with you." Tong Ni turned around, her voice sharp and firm. "Absolutely not. You are not a combatant. We have no idea what is waiting for us down there. You and Kim Oan will stay with Team A. They will keep you safe." Kongvu frowned and yelled, "Yan Hao is my best friend. He saved my life, and now he is in danger. How can I just sit here and do nothing?" Tong Ni paused for a brief moment, then nodded. "Fine. But stay close to me, and do not get separated from the squad." "Yes, ma'am," he replied excitedly. Meanwhile, in another part of the ruins, a group of bandits was whispering around the cabin. "Man, this iron coffin is heavy. What the hell is even in here? Who cares? If they hid it inside an armored vehicle, it has to be something valuable." Hak Fong walked up with a giant axe and barked, "Get the hell out of the way." Channeling all his strength, he gripped the axe tightly. He swung the axe with a powerful strike against the cabin, but it did not leave even a single scratch. Hak Fong roared in sheer frustration. "What the hell? This thing is tougher than a vault. We have already broken crowbars, hammers, and iron rods, but this damn thing won't even budge." The lackeys exchanged glances, muttering to each other. Suddenly, one of them spoke up. "I can open it, but you have to let me go underground." Hak Fong snapped at him. "Cut the crap. Down there is nothing but a dead end. The 3 guys we sent in last time never came back." Another thug mocked him. "What, are you daydreaming, kid?" A second guy chimed in. "Yeah, not even a mouse could survive down there." But the kid did not back down. He replied firmly, "I have seen it. There is a key to open this thing. Wanna bet?" Hak Fong grabbed him by the collar, lifting him off the ground. "Huh? Who the hell do you think you are?" The kid calmly replied, "If I open it, you set me free. And if I fail, you can do whatever you want with me." Hak Fong threatened, "If you are trying to play me, I will tear you apart myself." At that moment, inside the cabin, Yan Hao thought to himself, "I have no idea what happened after I lost control, but I am probably inside the enemy's hideout right now. Ever since my core upgraded, my perception has been vastly enhanced. Not only can I sense my surroundings and deep underground, but I can also perfectly feel my own physical condition. Core grade is red. Red Mist Reserve is currently at 67. My evolved abilities include Beast Claw and Talon Transformation. My plundered abilities are the Red Mist Bomb and the Venom Gland. I bet I got this Venom Gland from that Queen Bee. Meanwhile, the bandits dragged the cabin deeper underground, eventually stopping next to a giant skeleton. The kid pointed at it and said, "This is the spot." Hak Fong growled, "You better not be playing games with me, brat." But the boy simply pointed at a sharp bone protruding from the skeleton. "The key is right here." Hearing this, Hak Fong turned to his men and barked, "Bring that iron box over here." Gripping the sharp bone, Hak Fong grit his teeth and warned, "This better work, you little punk." If it doesn't, suddenly, the cabin behind them blew wide open. The explosion sent the bandits flying to the ground in utter shock, as a thick cloud of dust filled the air. One of them shrieked in terror, "Boss, the box, it opened on its own." Out of the dust, Yan Hao appeared right in front of them, his hands glowing. A green, toxic gas burst from his hands. Two of the lackeys inhaled the gas, their faces instantly twisting in agony. One of them screamed, "It's poison!" As they collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain, Yan Hao muttered coldly, "Not bad. This works great as a support skill to control the crowd." This skill is actually pretty handy. Hak Fong grit his teeth in disbelief. There was someone in there? Wait. Did you bastards let us capture you on purpose? Did you plan this just to sneak into our lair? Yan Hao furrowed his brows and replied, "What the hell are you even talking about?" "Is that so?" he confidently roared. "I used to be a D-rank warrior. Killing a nobody like you is as easy as crushing an ant." Before he could even finish, he charged like a hurricane with a sharp bone in hand. "How dare you play tricks on me? Just die already." Yan Hao was surprised. D-rank? As the sharp bone grazed past, he clenched his fist, causing a thick wave of poison to erupt. Yan Hao threw a powerful punch straight into his face. "Is this all you've got?" The punch sent him flying, skidding across the ground. He crashed straight through the wall, kicking up a cloud of dust. Yan Hao whipped around as if noticing something and said, "Oh." His eyes glowed crimson as he glared at the kid. "You want a piece of this too?" Terrified by his looks, the kid fainted on the spot, making Yan Hao furrow his brow. Fainted already? Looking around, he thought, "I can't believe how many mutated beast bones are scattered here, and they're all covered in battle scars. It seems these mutated beasts didn't die of natural causes. Someone must have brought them here on purpose, to fight to the death, just like a Roman Colosseum." Hearing a voice from above, he thought, "Can I actually hear Tong Nui's electronic voice from 10 floors up?" He chuckled and crushed the sharp bone. "She's as hot-tempered as ever." Meanwhile, the remaining bandits opened fire furiously on Tong Nui's squad. Deng Qi charged forward. His body was as hard as stone, causing the bullets to bounce right off, leaving the bandits utterly terrified. What a monster! Bullets can't even pierce him. He lunged forward and unleashed a whirlwind kick, taking down the bandits in just a few seconds. Having secured the area, Deng Qi reported, "Captain Tong, this sector is cleared. We still haven't found Yan Hao yet." Hearing this, Tong Nui ordered, "Keep searching." Looking around, Deng Qi said, "There are mutated beast claw marks everywhere. It looks like a secret is being hidden here." Standing before a massive pit, Kong Vu called out, "Captain Tong, the detector Kim gave me shows that Yan Hao is right down there." But suddenly he gasped, prompting Tong Nui to ask, "What's wrong?" He replied, "The signal just vanished." She said anxiously, "This is bad. The medical bay might have been destroyed. Yan Hao is in danger." Before she could even finish, a dark figure shot up from the pit. It was Yan Hao, carrying the kid over his shoulder with a bright smile. "Is everyone all right?" Leaving everyone stunned, as they gasped. "Yan Hao," Deng Qi asked anxiously, "Yan Hao, are you okay?" Yan Hao shook his head. "I'm fine now." Tong Nui asked curiously, "So, what exactly happened down there?" Looking down into the deep pit, his eyes darkened. "It seems like an abandoned beast arena down there." Deng Qi frowned. "Captain Tong, maybe we should investigate this." But Tong Nui spoke cautiously. "Let's retreat first. We can arrange an investigation after we return." Pointing at the kid, Kong Vu asked, "Yan Hao, who is this kid?" He replied softly, "Oh, he is." Before he could finish, the kid suddenly squirmed out of his grip. Pulling out a small blade, he screamed maniacally, "Die!" The blade flashed with a golden light as it stabbed straight at Yan Hao, but his body immediately entered a state of partial beastification. Scales emerged, chipping the blade. His face darkened as he crushed the blade in his hand, his voice freezing cold. How do you want to die? The kid roared. You soldiers are all scum. Yan Hao grabbed him by the neck, making the kid's face contort in pain. Gritting his teeth, he squeezed out. Just kill me. He let go, thinking, these are symptoms of red mist contamination. Moments later, the kid passed out, and an ID card fell from his clothes. Kong Vu leaned down, picked it up, and read aloud. Squad 7, Shich Thach Patrol Team, Athak. This is a comrade's ID card. Tong Nui looked at it and fell silent. The person in the photo was much older than the kid, but their eyebrows looked so similar. Could they be brothers? Still, she decisively ordered, this kid's condition is unstable. Let's get him back for treatment first, and we can investigate later. Kong Vu slung the kid onto his back and replied, understood. Walking behind them, Yan Hao thought, his contamination seems to still be in its early stages. If I absorb the red mist energy from his body, he might still be saved. By this time, the squad had returned to the Sich Huyet camp of the Ho Thon Special Response Team. Seeing them, a soldier shouted, they're back. Go report to young Master Truong immediately. The other soldier ran off, calling out, understood. As the squad walked in, Tong Nui ordered, Adjutant Lam, take Kim Oan to the medical room immediately. Deng Chi acknowledged firmly and helped Kim Oan away. But another soldier blocked Yan Hao and Kong Vu, prompting Yan Hao to ask, what's the meaning of this? He replied, pardon me, but according to the latest quarantine regulations, everyone returning from high-risk red mist zones must be isolated immediately. He frowned. Why was there no such rule before? The soldier continued. This is an order from above. Please cooperate by stripping down for disinfection and a full examination. Hearing this, Tong Nui's face darkened. Who issued this so-called order from above? I am their commander. Bring your superior to see me immediately. Leaving the soldier flustered. Well, that. Just then, a voice rang out from a distance. Who is intentionally refusing to cooperate with the inspection? Truong Tan walked over with a fake smile. Oh, it turns out to be Captain Tong. Captain Song, it's a misunderstanding, a total misunderstanding. But a thought immediately flashed through his mind. Why on earth was Song Rui returning with Yan Hao? Song Rui frowned. Did you order the logistics crew to do this? Zhang Jin spoke in a loud, confident voice. I'm responsible for the quarantine safety of the recruits. Captain Song and Researcher Jin are both veterans of the Special Response Squad, so of course they don't need to be inspected by us. Then he turned to Yan Hao with a fake smile. Yan Hao, this is also for the good of the camp, so I hope you'll cooperate with us. Hearing this, Song Rui snapped, no need. Who do you think you are in this place? It's not your place to bark orders. Zhang Jin was left tongue-tied, stammering, I. Song Rui didn't even bother to listen, simply saying, ignore him. He yelled out, wait, then pointed at the kid and asked, are you seriously bringing this filthy thing into the camp? Kang Yu whipped around and snapped, he's not a filthy thing, he's my teammate's little brother. Zhang Jin sneered, oh, so he's one of those patrol guys? Trash belongs in the dumpster. Seize him. Immediately, the two logistics guards pointed their guns at Kang Yu and the kid. Kang Yu roared, you bastard, while Zhang Jin gave a mocking, defiant smile. What? Are you trying to defy military orders? Song Rui snapped, Zhang Jin, you. But she was stopped by a hand. Yan Hao stepped forward, his hand secreting toxin from his poison gland. He said, let me handle this, and placed his hand on Zhang Jin's shoulder. Zhang Jin brushed the hand off and sneered, oh, so you want to fight back? But immediately after, the poison took effect, and his face contorted in agony. Toxin. Since when did he? Yan Hao brushed off his hands. I know you don't like me, but your methods are honestly pathetic. Back off while you still can. Look at you. We only said a few words, and you're already looking this exhausted. Zhang Jin collapsed to his knees, growling. You bastard. Yan Hao pretended to shout out, hey, your new team leader seems a bit tired. You guys should take him back to get some rest. The two logistics guards nodded. Yes, sir. They rushed over in a panic. Team leader, what's wrong? What happened to you? Writhing in pain on the ground, Zhang Jin grit his teeth and thought, Yan Hao, you got me good this time. Just you wait. Song Rui glanced over and whispered, what did you do? Yan Hao replied softly, don't worry. I just made sure he'll be stuck in bed for 2 days. Inside the medical lab, Jin Ying reported solemnly, my combat suit was coated with a slow-acting corrosive substance, but after being exposed to a high concentration of the red mist, its protective functions completely failed. Song Lian fell into deep thought. We have a mole who didn't want Jin Ying to make it back alive. He looked over at Yan Hao and added, Yan Hao, you're also one of their targets. Yan Hao replied, Chief of Staff, I believe their ultimate target is actually me, and Jin Ying was only dragged into this because of me. He nodded, his voice turning grave. Is that so? Until this matter is cleared up, both of you are suspended from active field duty. And Cheng adjusted his glasses and said, Old Song, it looks like headquarters has some rot we need to deal with. I hope you can send someone reliable to protect my daughter and Yan Hao. If there's another slip-up, neither of us will be able to bear the consequences. Song Lian replied with a heavy tone. I understand. He turned to Song Ruier. During this time, your top priority is to ensure their absolute safety. Song Rui replied firmly, I understand, Father. A few days later, Yan Hao sat on a bench, his gaze drifting into the distance. He thought to himself, field operations are suspended. There is a mole in the military. Zhang Jin of the City Defense Squad. A Shuo of the patrol team. What's next? Kang Yu ran over from a distance and called out, Brother Yan. He turned his head with a tired sigh. What's up? Did something happen? Kang Yu leaned in close to his ear and whispered, When I was checking on the kid, I found a photo. The girl in it looks exactly like your little sister. Yan Hao froze, gripping Kang Yu's wrist tightly as he demanded, Are you serious? Kang Yu groaned in pain. Brother Yan, it's gonna break. My hand is about to break. Inside the kid's hospital room, Kang Yu pushed the door open and asked, Doctor, how is he doing? The doctor picked up the medical chart and said thoughtfully, His condition is stable for now, but we still need to keep him under observation. But when he first came in, his infection was incredibly severe. How did it suddenly improve so much over the last few days? He turned to Yan Hao and asked directly, What did you do to him? Yan Hao's face darkened as he spoke in a serious tone. My apologies, doctor, but what comes next is an internal Iron Blood investigation. Please, step aside. The doctor turned to leave but still gave a warning. I know he's a bandit, but his infection symptoms have subsided significantly. This is a very unique case, so I hope you won't. Yan Hao gripped the photo tightly and said firmly, I know. Then he thought to himself, After all, I was the one who cleared the red mist from his body. Looking at the photo in his hand, his heart suddenly clenched. Xiao Shui. Suddenly, the kid woke up, panic, filling his eyes as he cried out, What are you trying to do? That belongs to my brother. Yan Hao pointed at the girl in the photo and demanded, Where did you see this girl? The kid replied with a trembling voice, It was half a year ago when I went to the refugee resettlement camp. Yan Hao pressed further with a grim expression. Where is she now? The kid shook his head. I don't know. Then he suddenly went into a frenzy, his face contorting as he screamed, They can't see anymore. My brother was the exact same. He clearly told me to wait in the city. He promised he would be right back. Yan Hao froze. In his mind, Shunan's words from the past echoed, I promise I will come back for you, okay? And a sweet, clear voice had replied, You better come back. He recalled the look on his own face back then as he promised his little sister, I will definitely come back for you. Beside him, Kang Yu whispered, Brother Yan, back then, Ah Se was assigned to evacuate the refugees. But during the evacuation, he was given another mission, and then, he just vanished. Yan Hao frowned. Vanished? But why would they assign him another mission right in the middle of one? Kang Yu replied, I do not really get it either. To know for sure, we will probably have to look up the mission logs from back then. Yan Hao silently reached out and drew the red mist out of the kid's body, shocking Kang Yu. Brother Yan, what are you doing? He turned and hushed him. Shh, do not tell anyone about this. As the kid's condition stabilized, Kang Yu finally understood. Oh, so that is how it is. No wonder his infection was getting better. Yan Hao held up the photo and said, firmly, I will help you find your brother. But you have to tell me everything about you and the girl in this photo from 6 months ago. The kid hesitated and asked, If I tell you about her, will you really help me find my brother? Yan Hao looked him straight in the eye. You can try trusting me. The kid asked softly, What did you just do to me? Yan Hao replied calmly, I think it is for the best for both of us. The kid closed his eyes and sighed. Fine. Half a year ago, after hearing the story, Yan Hao and Kang Yu left the room and headed to the barracks mess hall. Eating his food, Kang Yu asked, Brother Yan, do you really want to go back? Sitting opposite him, Yan Hao replied firmly, Of course. Xiao Shui has been missing for over half a year. I cannot wait any longer. Kang Yu asked, But what about Captain Song? She said there is a mole in the military who wants to get you. That is why she told me to follow you and report back if I found out anything. Yan Hao frowned. The only reason I came here is for Xiao Shui, so no one can stop me. Suddenly, a female voice called out from behind. Who is trying to stop you? Song walked over. Kang Yu jumped up and asked, Sister Jin, is your leg doing okay now? Jin Ying smiled. Yeah, Qi Shui's top-tier healing is really something else. Song sighed. Let us go somewhere else. It is not safe to talk here. They followed her to a small meeting room. Inside, Yan Hao asked, How did you guys find out? Jin Ying smiled and showed him the video from the hospital. Yan Hao was surprised. Security camera? Kang Yu gasped. Sister Jin, so you have been spying on us this whole time? Jin Ying playfully nudged him and said, Hey, do not make it sound so bad. I was protecting you guys. Look, we have internal issues right now. There is a high chance you guys could get kidnapped out of nowhere. Song said seriously, I was the one who asked Jin Ying to pull that footage. After you left, the doctor came to see me and explained the situation. Yan Hao, I will not stop you. I promised I would help you, so I hope you can trust me too. Hearing that, Yan Hao smiled with gratitude. Captain Song. Jin Ying linked her arm with his and teased him. Me too. You have to trust me. Did you not say you wanted to get something sorted out? I have my own unique methods. Kang Yu chimed in loudly. Brother Yan, same here. I will always have your back. Song smiled and asked. So, Yan Hao, what is your plan next? Mind sharing it with us? Deeply moved, he gave a gentle smile and nodded. All right. Right at that moment, in the ruins on the outskirts of Qixi City, a voice called out a passcode from inside a bunker entrance. Zhang Shui quickly answered, Nowhere to run. The voice inside replied, Come in. He rushed in and yelled, I have urgent business with Boss Hong. A heavy-set man sitting in a chair smirked. Boss Hong does not have time for you. He screamed back in a panic. It is about Yan Hao. He is rushing here to Qixi City from Hucheng right now. The man immediately pulled out his phone. Boss Hong, we have news on Yan Hao. Zhang Shui sneered maliciously. Yan Hao, you are dead meat. A few days later, at a checkpoint on the outskirts of Qixi City, chaos broke out. What are you doing? What do you think you are doing? A soldier barked, City defense orders. All incoming and outgoing vehicles must be inspected. Roll down your window so I can see your face. What is your name? What is your business here? Song watched the chaos from inside her car. What is the city defense team even doing? This is complete chaos. From the back seat, Kang Yu spoke with a tremble in his voice. What the hell? I have never seen them protect a city with this much energy before. Yan Hao glanced over with a faint smile. Nice ride. I did not know you had this kind of taste. Song chuckled. This is not a military mission. So I cannot use a military vehicle. My personal car will keep us under the radar. Kang Yu asked. Is it really okay to leave Sister Jin all by herself at headquarters? She replied. I asked Adjutant Lin to look after her, so she should be fine. Yan Hao added. Jin Ying said she has her own ways to help me investigate. Since only headquarters can mobilize those forces, we had her stay behind. She nodded. Besides, Kim O-an can support us remotely via military comms. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door for a safety check. Right then, up on the high watchtower, a soldier screamed. Monster attack 1 kilometer away. Everyone turned around in a panic, staring at a pack of iron-backed wolves rushing towards them. The defense squad shrieked in terror. Damn it, retreat now! Tong Ni gritted his teeth in anger. Are you going to trap us here and just abandon us? Yan Hao stepped out of the car, his voice calm. Let me go. Meanwhile, in the distance, the ferocious wolves chased after the fleeing crowd. Creating a scene of utter chaos, a wolf lunged forward, baring its fangs to bite a man, making him shriek in panic. Help me! At that exact moment, Yan Hao's arm transformed into a demonic claw, lunging like lightning to strike the wolf. With one decisive blow, the beast was taken down. He shouted, If you want to live, run. Yan Hao stood firm, blocking the pack of wolves. The wolves, all Crimson Marquis-class iron-backed wolves, growled fiercely in unison and charged forward. Surrounded on all sides, Yan Hao muttered under his breath, his voice low and quiet,